This is a video to see how to change the oil and oil filter on a Mercedes VITO W639 CDI from 2004. Well, it's very simple. The first thing to do is open the engine compartment cover. Take out the dipstick a little so it can breathe, and also remove the oil cap so it can breathe. The next thing, which I've already done so the video doesn't take too long, is to remove the oil drain plug. It's this nut. Look, it's a 13. And then you also have to replace this copper ring, okay? It's a 13 and goes right here. Very simple, okay? You have to raise the van. I raised it a little with a jack and a jack stand. I have it raised a little. It doesn't take much, see? The oil is almost finished coming out. There's very little left to come out. And the plug is right here. Do you see where I'm pointing with my index finger? Okay, once. All the oil has come out and we have collected it in a recycling container. Always remember, to change the oil, that the engine has to be warm, at least 60 to 70 grams of temperature, at operating temperature. It doesn't need to be burning hot either, because that way the oil will come out more lubricated, and we can get the most out of the already deteriorated oil. And use one so that almost everything you put in is good quality. Okay, the oil that I'm going to use is a 1040, which is adequate for where I live because it's quite cold in winter and quite hot in summer. You have to change it every 20,000 kilometers and more or less what you need are 25L cans, okay? It's more or less like, I think I remember it was like 8 or 9L more or less of oil. That is, 25L cans are needed, 1040 in every 20,000 kilometers. Okay, once we've finished letting all the oil come out, we put the nut back in with, I repeat, this new copper washer. I'm going to do it and we'll continue. Well, not before putting the plug back in. What we're going to do is replace the filter, okay? So that all the oil comes out properly and by the time we put the new one in, everything is in place, okay? Well, over here, the oil filter is down here, down there, and to do that, what we have to do is remove the air filter. It's very simple. To remove the air filter, all we have to do is loosen this clamp where the air filter is going to be attached and then it all comes out as a block. So, loosen this clamp, I'll do it and then we'll see how it comes off. Okay, the clamp is now loosened. You can remove it by pulling it a little bit. And with this, we'll release these two lugs here. Let's see. Okay. First of all we have to remove it because if not it wouldn't come out properly. We have to remove this oil inlet support. So it has a little hook here at the back. Let's see if you can see it. I'll show you now. You pull the little hook and this comes out upwards. I do it because I can't do it with the camera and we can see it. Okay, the little pivot that had to be made is this one here. Okay, we pull this little pivot and it releases the oil inlet, okay. So, this comes out upwards. Look, this is how it goes down, okay? And here it goes up. Now we need to remove the air filter. Once we've removed the oil inlet and we've removed this air filter breather, which is this air filter, okay? Well, this is the air filter box. I'm going to do it. Okay, how does the air filter box come out? Now it's out. It's simply by pulling these knobs upwards, okay? Grab the air filter box a little here, pull it up and these two lugs come off. And finally, all that's left is to remove this breather, okay? It comes out from there and the air filter is removed. If someone wants to change the air filter, it's very simple. Just unscrew these screws here, ta-ta. These ones here. Open the cover, take out the old one, put in the new one and that's it. Okay, now we've accessed where the oil filter is and now what we're going to look for is a small wrench to unscrew this which is quite stiff, okay? The oil filter cover to unscrew the cap where the oil filter is housed. Any special wrench is for removing the oil filter, okay? This is the most universal one which is very cheap. It costs less than €8. It clips on well and you have to move it counterclockwise to loosen it. Push it a little bit. And now, as you can see, it moves, it loosens up a little here. We tighten it again, we tighten it again. And now once it's tightened, nothing, it moves a little. Do you see how it moves? And now I think the next one can be done by hand. Okay, well, keep loosening it and we'll continue. After having loosened it a little with the wrench, you can continue loosening it by hand. Well, you have to do this with gloves, but now I'm without gloves, because doing it without gloves is a bit of a pain, you get messy that way too. Okay, hello. You can hear it coming out from below. Let's see if you can see it. Okay, do you see more oil coming out? And that's precisely because air has gotten in where the oil filter is housed. That's why, before putting the cap back in, you have to replace the oil filter. Do you see the oil filter coming out now? This is what the oil filter looks like. Let it continue draining. Turn it over so it doesn't get too dirty. Okay? And here we have the filter for the old oil. And here we have a new oil filter. It's very simple. You just have to replace the filter itself and 2 O-rings. And that's it. Look, this is the new oil filter. Let's see. I'm recording with one hand and I'm doing it with the other hand. I don't want to get it too dirty, but anyway. And you see, here are the 3 O-rings that need to be changed. One of the O-rings is right here, the one on the cover, and the other 2 O-rings are the 2 that go here and here. Okay? So, well, now we're going to pull the filter up and continue. But before doing all this, now that we've removed the filter, we can now put the oil cap back on. I'm going to put the oil cap back on. To replace the copper washer, what I did back then was buy a box of these copper washers of different sizes, and I saw that the size of the washer is 12 millimeters. Let's see, to show you clearly. See, it's 12 millimeters. So, let's take a new 12 millimeters one. We put it on the cap. I'm going to clean the cap a little before putting it on. I'll clean the cap and put it on. Well, as you can see, there's the new cap with the washer, that is, the cap with the new washer. Tighten it until it fits by hand and then with a torque wrench. You have to tighten it to 30 torque. Okay, I have the torque wrench here and tighten it to 30 torque. I've already set it to 30 and 30 and that's the tightening torque. Okay, once it's been tightened to 30 N, it's time to put the new oil filter in. Let's get to it. To put the new oil filter in, first we'll remove the old one by pulling it out. Let's see. Okay, by pulling it up, you can see that the old one comes out. So now, before putting the new one in, what we're going to do is replace the 3 O-rings that come with it, which correspond to this one here. This one up here, the one in the middle, and the one on the cap. Those are the 3 new O-rings that we have here, okay? The 2 at the end. And the ones on the cap. And we also do this by smearing a little bit of old oil on them, smearing them a little bit so that they're hydrated. I'm going to show you how to remove them and then put them in. I can't put them in with one hand, and just click and they're in. That's it. All 3 are now removed. As you can see, all 3 are no longer here. Here we have the 3 new ones that we simply give a little oil to all 3 and I put them in place. Okay, how do you put them in place? Well, you just put them in place with your hands, with your little fingers, and that's it. There's no more to it than that. As we were saying, once the oil filter is in place and tightened, we put the air filter box back in place, which as you can see is quite simple. These 2 pivots fit into these 2 slots. Okay? And then this part of the nozzle here fits in here. We fit everything in well. Well, as you can see, once it's fitted in here in this part here, we check that it fits in well. The two lugs here are in place. We put this tube back in and tighten it. And finally, where we pour the oil, we put it in its little channel. Okay, and that's it. And that's it. Well, although it's already dark and there's little light, well, nothing, just finish the process. See how we fill it with oil. Okay. Okay, now let's fill the oil through this little pipe. As you can see, this is a synthetic Craft 1040, suitable for both gasoline and diesel. I'm going to use a funnel, but I don't have one. Okay, I'll stop recording until I fill it and then continue. Okay, I've already poured in about 8 liters more or less. Now let's see how it goes with 8 liters. I've been testing it and it should be more or less full. Okay, now it's a little stained. I'll clean it a little. Just a second, I'll clean it. Okay, with 8 liters it's about half full right now. I don't really know why at night, and it also looks like the oil is dirty, but it's not clean, although those little drops have come out there. Okay, so now I'm going to start the car so that the oil filter fills up and, oh, the zoom has turned on. So that the filter fills up with oil and we'll check the oil again. Okay, let's get to it. We just need to start it up, just a minute. Let's start the car. Well, the van. And now we'll also see how to reset the service interval, which I did the other day before adding oil to see how it was done, but it doesn't work perfectly. Let's see, sorry. Let's see how it is now. Let's check again. Well, when starting and filling the oil filter, it was out of measurement again. So then we need to add a little more oil. I add a little more and check the level again. This is logical. This is what it's supposed to do. Well, I've continued filling it up until I've added approximately 9L in total. There are already 9L and it's almost halfway. Okay, I'm going to start it up again for the last time. I'll leave it running for a little while longer. I'll check the level again and I'll consider it finished. Except for resetting the service interval. The oil change and oil filter change on the VITO 150, a 2004 CDI, which is a W639 bodywork, would now be done. Okay. Let's get to it. Let's leave it for a little while longer so that the oil can circulate more. Let's turn it off. And do a final check. It seems a bit excessive to stop and start it up, but anyway, I think it's 5 more minutes and that way we can make sure that the oil level is correct, because I insist, whether it's below the tolerance level or above it is bad for the life of the engine and for its reliability and durability. So, it's important to get it to the right level, okay? Many people sometimes do the first check when they change the oil filter, then forget about it and it always stays low. There are other people who go overboard and think that because it's high, it's okay. Yes, of course it happens. It's not good to have it above the upper range indicated by the manufacturer. Well, let's see now how the level is and if it's within the range. That's how we'll leave it. Okay, I had to top it up a little bit more, but as you can see it's perfect now. Okay, It's a little bit above the middle between the lower and upper limits, having poured in 9 and 5, okay? That's how it'll stay, having poured in 9 and 5 with an oil change in the oil filter included. Well, there you have it, this washer is now adjusted, the level has been checked after having started it a couple of times. The first time, a little bit so that the oil filter was full. The next time, a little bit more so that the oil circulated well, that the pump moved the oil well, the oil pump, and that's it. Put the safety cap back on, close it, and that's it. We still have to reset the service interval so that it will notify us in 365 days or 20,000 kilometers, whichever comes first. Okay? The oil is supposed to stop being in service either when it has traveled more than 20,000 kilometers or when a year has passed. In either case, whichever comes first, it is assumed that the oil has lost its proper lubricating properties, etc., etc. Okay, that's it for now. Yeah.